Alright, here we are. Let's test this. Now for me, the test of any application is how easy it is to use without following the directions. So I'm going to do my best to show you. Sorry, this is kind of a lo-fi tutorial, but the basics of this app are pretty straightforward and simple. It doesn't get any better than a big microphone and a big picture, so or a camera to take pictures. So that's what you would do. You would record live audio, like here. Record, pretty awesome. Stop. It's going to name it, put it in a bin for you. We can close it out here, or we can take pictures if we want. Okay, so pretty straightforward. And all of those, if you hit go into audio, images, and saved. So you can also, the great thing I love is that you can actually load images from your library. So if you're like me and you use some of those photo apps like Camera Bag and Old Camera and Hipstamatic, those are actually available to you to use as well. So I'm going to show you what I did. I loaded some images already. You can see them here. I just did quick unnamed stuff and audio. So I recorded 2 pieces of audio, one of myself describing the pictures that I wanted to put in the slideshow, and the other a Beatles song that I recorded straight from my computer. You don't have the ability to import audio, which is kind of obvious if you think about it, because you can't keep audio files that aren't protected music on your iPhone. So let's go into projects. You can see I don't have any projects, so I'm going to start a new project. You can have just an audio project. Showcase Express I haven't tried, but you can have what they call Showcase, and I'm just going to done. So you know, I'm kind of I'm very excited by this whole thing. I don't know whether it's a novelty or not, just because you can create something on a mobile device. But that said, let's launch into this. So we're going to click the plus button, I assume, to add content. Yep, and you can see. So I'm going to click images to add. Okay, let's add these images and hit done. Now here, if you wanted to move the images around, if you click and hold, come on, click and hold. I know you can do this. Oh, I'm sorry, here in the corner you can move the order around, so that's actually pretty cool. So let's do done. Okay, so now we have our images on a timeline, and you can see we have spots for 2 audio. So let's audio tracks, let's bring in 1. I know that this is the Beatles song. Now on this I discovered just by playing around. Again, I haven't read a manual. I played around with this application once before I started doing this demo. Is that you can double click and get in and out points, which I thought was actually pretty cool. So you can set in and out points on the audio. I also assume that this play and pause button here, there's also a zoom feature, so I'll zoom out a little bit. All of this is pretty intuitive. What I'm most excited about is that this is probably going to look really cool on an iPad. It's a little difficult, especially with my chunky fingers, to do some of this. But all of this touch stuff is really fantastic. So you can see how we can just pick a particular point in the song, let's say this, and if you click and hold, you can actually drag that little snippet down there. So you can essentially go through and listen to all the parts you want, and then you can find a new spot in the audio to select. So we can keep doing this if we wanted to. Ends up being a little harder trying to demonstrate it for you, because I'm trying to look through the camera and do this at the same time. Anyway, you can click and hold, and now we've got two pieces of audio that we selected. Once we're happy with what we've done, we can click on the check bar. Now we have two separate pieces of audio. We can tell they're separate. There's a little line there, and we can actually zoom in, zoom out. You can kind of see where this is going. It's actually quite cool. It reminds me of the first days of sound slides and being very excited by that. While this is very primitive in some sense, I think the technology is solid. It's going to look great on an iPad. The problem with that, of course, the iPad doesn't have a camera yet. But either way, it looks great on an iPhone. It works fantastic on an iPhone. And because they have such a solid foundation, I assume we're just going to get more and more from them. The ability to add video clips, cross dissolves, all these kinds of things I'm sure we're going to get. So let's click on the second track of audio, and let's add my voice. So now here's the voice track. Let's just use the entire voice track. Click here on the OK. And not enough room to insert. Would you like to truncate? Okay. Again, I'm trying to do this as fairly raw and very newbie as I can, just to kind of see how this actually. So now I have two tracks of audio. One of the things I really love is that if you have a track of audio and you select it, let's select this one in particular, and you click on this little button, which I just did by accident, and started playing. I thought that this was fantastic. Now all of a sudden we have audio levels that we can actually set. So we can bring this track down a little bit. We can also, if we drag this here, we can begin to look at that. That is pretty cool. And again, I just figured this stuff out on my own. So we could actually fade this audio in at the beginning and probably fade it out at the end as well. A lot of, you can do the same with pictures. You can click on a picture, you can expand it out a bit. If you know Sound Slides, that awesome program, it has some of the problems that the initial Sound Slides did. When you drag images, some of them get squashed here, but there's a great cut and paste feature. You can cut an image out. You can double click over here, and then you can decide where to paste the image in. Okay. So like I said, I keep using the word tutorial. This isn't really a tutorial, as it is just a quick example of the power, I think, of this program. So I will finish the rest of creating this online, or creating this little slideshow as an example for you to see offline, and I think as we go further, if more people are interested, I'll try and find a way to do a real tutorial, although I'm hoping that the download manual really opens my eyes to what this application can really do, and maybe we don't need a tutorial. Maybe it is as simple as it looks and feels. Overall, I'm extremely impressed with how easy it was for me just to kind of pick up the gestures and what you can do with this thing right out of the box without reading the manual. Again, its uses, I mean, yeah, you could easily just send the pictures and audio files back to the office and have somebody do it in Final Cut or in Sound Slides and have it look a little bit more sophisticated, I would imagine. But the power of being able to record audio, put two separate audio tracks on a timeline with some images from your library, all on an iPhone, is actually pretty powerful, and it's got me pretty excited. So we'll see where this goes. I love it. I think it's worth every penny of $8 that you spend for it, and I guess we'll just have to wait and see.